This is my 2017 Honda HRV, and this is the HRV factory radio I'm taking out to install this giant touchscreen head unit. Alright guys, this is the Dasaita G13 entertainment system that I'm going to be installing today. Anytime you install an aftermarket head unit, there are going to be some things you want to consider before getting into it. There's nothing wrong with this unit, so the first thing we want to consider is is the quality and the performance of this going to be at least as good or better than this? And we'll talk about some of the specs on this unit in just a minute, but I think that this will be a great upgrade over the factory unit. All right, number two, next thing you want to consider is the fit and finish of how this head unit is going to fit in this one's place. I think it's going to fit just fine, just the way it's set up in the HRV. You got just one piece that covers what almost looks like a standard doubled in head unit. So we're going to have to remove this dash panel, and then I'm pretty sure it's just going to be 4 screws on either side. Pull this one out, put that one in. So the fit should be fine. It should fit just inside this bezel, just like the factory one is. All right, the next thing we need to consider, and possibly the most important one, is we want to retain all the features that the car has through the steering wheel controls, and everything that goes through this head unit we want to maintain on the new head unit. And Dasaita, this is the G13, it's designed specifically for the HRV, and this head unit should retain all the features that we need. So some of the features that are integrated into the factory head unit are going to be volume controls. We can increase and decrease the volume. We need to be able to maintain that. And then we have telephone controls, which also show up through the head unit. All right, another one, of course, is the backup camera. So, of course, we need to keep our backup camera as well. In addition to those, you have a dimming mode when you turn on the lights. So we'll want that to be maintained as well. And then maybe the last thing you might want to consider, it's not a big deal to me, are you actually going to lose any features by installing the new stereo? In this case, we are going to miss out on the CD player, which again is no big loss to me because we've just been listening to the Frozen soundtrack for years. Now the G13 does have some upgrades over the older G12 unit. We get an Android 13 operating system with the Qualcomm 665 octa-core processor, so performance out of the box should be excellent with this one. Also, the audio has been upgraded to DTS, so the sound quality should be much better as well. In the box you can see they give us a user manual as well as installation instructions, both which proved to be very helpful. They gave us some scented craft and then some zip ties and tools to make the installation go a little smoother. And then you can see they gave us 2 bags of wiring. One of the bags is going to be the main component wiring to get the unit working, and the second bag is for all the accessories and options you can run with this unit. In my opinion, this is where Dasaita shines. The connectors that they give you make this a truly plug-and-play experience that you can hook up to any 2013 to 2022 Honda HRV, so no splicing of the wires are required at all. Looking at the G13 itself, it's a big QLED screen that's going to fill the entire cavity we're given in the HRV, and it comes with 2K resolution, so the picture is going to be clean and crisp. Alright, after you disconnect the battery cable, it's time to take out the factory radio. Fortunately for us, it's just one giant panel all the way across, and it's pretty easy to take out. So the idea is drop your glove box. There's a small piece up in here that you can fit the interior wedge tool they gave us. But basically you pry this out and pull it open, and then work your way all the way around, and then the whole panel just comes off in one piece. There's going to be a connector right here we have to disconnect, but other than that it should just come right off. Alright, now you've got the factory stereo exposed. You'll see a couple Phillips head screws, one on either side, and then there's going to be one deep in here, so you'll need at least a screwdriver about that long to get this one. So take those 3 screws out, and then we'll be able to pull the stereo out. That was kind of like operation, but the magnetic tip will help get that one out as well. Alright, as you can see, it looks like we have just 4 connectors in the back of the stock radio on this model. And so we're gonna see how that corresponds to the instructions they gave us, and we'll check out the wiring on the other stereo and see just how plug and play this thing is. Let me dig into it a little bit and I'll let you know what I come up with. Okay, so the 4 connectors we have in the back here seem to correspond to what's in the installation manual, so I'm going to go ahead and disconnect those since we can reference what they're for. Alright, so this one is looking like the power that connects to the power here, which will make this the other end of the power wires, which should connect here. Alright, on that same set of wires, you have this one, which corresponds to number 2 in our diagram from the factory radio, which should be for our steering wheel controls. So that's the next one I'm going to hook up. Alright, looking at what's left, we have this one, which is for the radio, which should plug in right here. So that's number 3. So the manual is actually really easy to follow. You can literally just pick out number 1, GPS antenna, find it on the pictures, find it in your bag, and then you'll literally just be able to correspond that connector with where it is on the stereo and just plug it right in. And I'm just going to go down this list and install everything just like it shows. Alright, we did still have the one USB wire that was from the factory stereo that we haven't plugged into anything yet. I'm plugging it into USB 1 on the new Dasaita G13, and they give you this little extension to go from that wire to the factory connector. So that's the last of the factory connectors. And honestly, I think we're all hooked up. So just glancing back through the installation manual, I'm really impressed with how well the instructions are done. They're really easy to follow. But you can literally, like I said, just go through, plug everything in per what it says on here. They all go exactly where it shows. It explains that you won't be using all accessories, or that it doesn't include all accessories. You can use them if you buy each of the components that you need to make them work. But you can hook up things like video games and SIM cards and amps and front cameras. There's all sorts of accessories you can plug in. So the wiring's all there if you need it. All right, I'm gonna take everything and kind of push it into place loosely and reconnect the battery cable in the front and just double check and make sure everything works before we button it up. All right, we have power. That's a good start. Okay, so it looks like I've got to troubleshoot the radio a little bit. All right, looks like a nice easy fix there. If I revisit the radio cable from the car, the antenna cable from the factory wiring, I can see that there is a connector that I forgot to plug in right there. So I think that's going to fix our radio issue. Let's check again.
For us. Set us free from the bondage.
All right, we got radio station. That's good. Volume is working. All right, just running through some of the features we got. Let's check volume control. Volume control's working. That's amazing. Let's check the reverse camera. Okay, I think I've got the backup camera situation figured out. So we have this one labeled camera in with a female side, and then we have this one that says to camera in with a male side. I'm gonna plug these two together and see if we can't get a signal from the backup camera. Hold please. All right, let's try this one more time. A little glitchy. That might just be a first time issue. We do have signal. Let's try that again. Much better. Alright, so I'm gonna just double check everything once more, and as long as there's no more unforeseen issues, I'm gonna button this up and then we'll go over some more of the features. Alright, I just wrapped up the install. The fitment on this thing is really nice. I'm really impressed, you know, by the overall quality of this unit. It's a nice unit. When you're putting this in, make sure you connect that connector back and just be careful to make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and then just firmly push it back into place, and everything should seat real nice, and that's just a perfect fit. Okay, so I just got back from the first test drive. I do have a couple of small issues I'm going to show you how to fix real quick. The first one is that when I go in reverse, I lose all of the volume from the radio. So let's go ahead and put it in reverse. You'll see the rear view camera comes on like it's supposed to, but we get no audio. So I want audio, so I'm going to show you how to get past that. So the first thing you do is go to settings, then car, then extra settings, and then you're going to find reversing volume, and we want reversing volume on. So that's the first thing. Let's go back home. Second issue is when I turn the blinker on right, so my right indicator, the screen goes black and then I get this little exclamation point. So this model does not have lane assist, and I think that's the issue, is that it's trying to pull up a lane assist camera and I don't have that. So the way to get around that is very easy. I'll show you how to do that as well. See, we turn the blinker off and it goes right back to the home screen. All right, so for this one we go to settings, then car, and then we're gonna find factory settings right there. Password is factory settings is 126. Okay. And then we're gonna find CAN bus, and then right view is over here, and we want it to be on hide, followed by apply and exit. It's going to ask us if we want to reboot. Yes, we want to reboot. All right, we are rebooted. We're back to the home screen. Let's see if we get what we get with the right turn signal. All right, we have audio and no exclamation point, no black screen, so that fixed that issue. If you experience that, that's how you get past that. All right, another thing that seems to be working as it should, if you remember, the factory stereo automatically dimmed when you turn the lights on. So when you turn the lights on now, we go to night mode, and that seems to be working properly as it should. And you can adjust that in the settings as well to how dim you want it. All right, I just hooked my phone up to Bluetooth. Everything was pretty self-explanatory, just like any Android device, and it automatically wants to connect me to Android Auto. So that's fully integrated as well, so that is a great feature of this unit. All right, this user manual is really helpful, by the way. After that, just thumbing through the apps, this is a full Android tablet, so you know, if there's something you need or you don't like that's stock on here, you can go to the Play Store and download whatever app it is you need. But they got things preloaded on here like YouTube. You can go and do anything you need to with a Wi-Fi connection. All right, it even has split screen on here, so you can open multiple apps at the same time as well, which is pretty cool. So guys, overall I'm really satisfied with how the install went. It really is a plug and play unit for all intensive purposes. Way easier than it used to be in the old days when you were splicing wires for every little speaker and power and ground and all the accessories that you can have on these. It would be so insane to have to do that. So with the connectors they provide, it makes it really easy to install. The fitment's great, the performance is good. I'm super satisfied with it. I am going to take it back apart. They gave us the zip ties, so I'm going to go back in there and tidy up some of the wiring. I may even take out some of the accessories that I'm not going to use, because they do provide you with everything, but you can use what you need. Anyways, great install. I think it's a great product. It seems to be working really nicely so far, and it really modernizes the whole look of the HRV dash. All right, with that being said, if it was a successful install for you, please give the video a thumbs up so other people can find it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Oh yeah, one last thing from Dasaita. Did you forget about the scented craft? Were you wondering what this is? Fragrance bags. Nice touch.